Let's go. Friday is finally here. Who doesn't love a summer Friday? Covers his best MLB bets. And we got a loaded show. Producer Mick is on Friday time. All good. Let's go. Josh Inglis, Derek Carty, Joe Osborne coming up. John Metler coming up. Going to be, double-digit picks coming here for a Friday. Hit that like button if you're just joining us now. Good to see everybody there in the chat. Just a helpful group of human beings. And I know you know Derek since we've been here for what I think this is our fourth baseball season. Could be our third, but it might be our fourth, which is crazy. Seeing the same guys every day, right? In the same things, guys who know everything they're doing. Like it's the bets are one thing, but like watching the evolution of betting, myself included, over years of your data. And remember when we used to attack outs markets at a crazy rate, that fixed, and we gone to other things. It's pretty crazy what happens over a course of 4 years of doing this.
Yeah, it really is. You know, the market adjusts over time and you have to adapt to the market. And we've certainly seen that. I mean, the first year we were doing a lot of, like strikeout props at minus 120 kind of thing. And like, that's just not a thing anymore. We're moving on to other markets where, I think if you look at like the overall like win-loss record this year, it's like way more losses than wins, but like we're betting all like plus 150s and plus 200s. And that's just kind of, you have to adjust to what the market gives you.
Loaded show. We're going to get things moving today. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-pack coming up here. Different markets. If you're new to the show, this is how we're going to do things. This is how we follow the release procedure. We'll tell you the book. We'll tell you the secondary book. We'll tell you the game. We'll tell you the market. We'll tell you the player. We'll tell you the over-under. Let us know where it is. Let us know if it's moving. Let us know if you're finding a better price, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. But the most important thing is having a place to bet those. We know you all don't do. So we'll try our best to tell you where the buy prices are for some of these that aren't on the release. We start things off in a game where we're going to touch a lot of things. Seattle, the Mets. We're at Bet365 here. 110 at DK and Hard Rock. Pitcher strikeouts. We joked about, did a lot of pitcher strikeouts, but this one popped up here and we're starting to see the move. And like when the market opens, you only have maybe 30 minutes before it kind of starts adjusting. And a lot of that has to do with the influence of Derek's numbers. But let's go. Luis Castillo, under 4.5 strikeouts, plus 125 here at Bet365. 108 at FanDuel, 118 at Exchange, 110 DraftKings, Hard Rock. Derek, what happened to Luis Castillo and his better than K per inning stuff? Because it just kind of looks like a linear line going down in terms of his strikeouts per inning.
Yeah, that strikeout stuff is gone essentially. His entire career, he's been a guy with well above average stuff plus, and this year it's been well below average. He only has 1+ pitch this year. It's been a slider. Everything else has gotten worse. The strikeout rate is obviously down, and I think there's still some name value attached to Luis Castillo, where the market still treats him as, like a semi-ace, and he is just not that anymore. Plus today he gets what is a really tough matchup against a good Mets offense, a low K Mets offense. So yeah, this looks like a good spot to hit this.
Yeah, so that was one that you added late. Put it right to the top of the list, and at that point, top of the list stuff is the most important, because that's the one you think that's going to move the most during the show. Let's go to number 2, Pittsburgh at the Cubs. We're at 365 here. 10 points off at Hard Rock Fanatics. Let's go. Hits allowed. Braxton Ashcraft, under 4.5 hits allowed, plus 130. Braxton Ashcraft, under 4.5 hits allowed, plus 130. I'm assuming the other Ashcraft is his brother, but that might just be a coincidence. Braxton. Now, this is where my brain goes to with Braxton. The Cubs played yesterday afternoon in Toronto. Their offense is slumping, and they swing home to play an afternoon game today. That's where my mind is. Your mind is this is a guy who's probably going to throw 72 pitches.
That is generally the first thing that came to mind when I saw this one. Yeah. Facing the Cubs, obviously not ideal, but there's no wind blowing out, and Ashcraft is going to most likely be on a pitch limit. Only threw 56, I think, 56 pitches in his last start. They're moving him into the rotation, so we expect that to go up, but probably going to be around, like 70, 75 pitches today. And he's not actually a bad pitcher. He's actually probably an above average pitcher. Has had good stuff this year, throws hard. I don't mind this one. I mean, 4.5 is a big number for a guy who might only go 4 innings, especially when you're giving it to us at plus 130.
Now I'm trying to think of the odds here, reading DT Plus's point. Graham Ashcraft is not the brother, not related. I would have put that at like 5%. Guys of the same age with the last name, professional pitchers who aren't. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. All right, we go on, and we're picking in a game. We're at Bet365, same price at Bally Bets. We're looking at the home run market here, Mariners and Mets. Yeah, Mike Torres says on the Ashcraft, 5.5 at minus 160. Would you prefer to go get that plus money and wait for that to move?
Yeah, I prefer the 4.5, I think. And
okay.
That should move down. Yeah.
So, yeah, wait for that dip, and then as soon as that one hits that plus money, you might be looking at that same plus 120-ish price, plus 130 that's being offered at Bet365. All right, let's go. Quarter unit here. Jorge Polanco for a home run, plus 750. Sorry, DraftKings people, seeing this as short as plus 500 there. I'm sure you're off at that price.
Yeah, this one is not like an amazing play. It shows enough value here. You could take it maybe 50 points off, but beyond that, I think I'm out on it. Shows good value. I really like Sean Manaea, though. I think the system is potentially a little low on his talent. So I'm not like going out of my way to pick on him, especially if we lose some points on this, but it shows enough where I like it here.
No, if man who's made some money, if you've continually bet him at these prices, continue to see that plus 700 range for him. Let's stay here. Let's go to Bally Books here. And I mean, yeah, it might not be widely available at this price, but you're not going to get Cal Raleigh same game at plus EV prices everywhere. So
yeah,
gonna go here. Cal Raleigh plus reach 325 for a home run. Rivers is 300 through 265 at 365. DK are you still getting value at the 265?
Minimal value, not enough where I would bet it. If you want to, because it's Cal Raleigh and it's fun, sure. Like it does show some positive expected value. But I mean, losing, what is that? 50, 60 points, something like that. 60 points is, it makes a difference. It's a lot. So this is kind of a book specific one. If you can get it, if not, you can take a 265, but beyond that, I'm definitely out.
In this spot here, you said you like Sean Manaea. Obviously that's reflective in your pricing and in your odds and how you project him. Where are we with Sean Manaea? Are we somewhere between where he is now, 9 runs allowed over his last 2 starts in 9 innings, and what he did in his first starts, which was obviously not sustainable?
Yeah, somewhere in between there, of course.
Yeah.
He's, I think, a legitimately good pitcher. Maybe not a great one, but he's definitely a good pitcher.
All right, let's look at another game. We're at 365, Milwaukee and Cincinnati. Now, this might come out. This market's probably easier to get now than pitcher under strikeouts. Like batter walks is easier to find. But right now, not every book is open on the Cincinnati offense, the batter props, because Milwaukee doesn't have a listed pitcher. But that's where we go. Hitter walks, Gavin Lux, over 0.5 walks, plus 230. Seeing plus 240 at exchange. Where's the buy price if we're getting to this late and it's open up in other books?
I would say 210, 215. You're probably okay still. And we are banking on this being Jacob Mizorowski as the pitcher. He's going to probably be on a very short leash, but even if we get 2 at-bats against him, like that's a guy with as great as he is, his control is terrible. So we're looking at that here for Lux. We're getting a good number. I'll take it here and probably down another 10 or 15 points.
Yeah. So people say no market yet, DK, no market yet on ESPN. Once he is the announced starter, that's fantastic. Walks are great with Mizorowski because I don't think his walk potential has been shown in the market yet for what we've seen with him.
No, I don't think it has either.
No. Okay.
No,
so there we go.
He's a bad walk. Yeah.
He's nice. And it'd be interesting to see how he comes back after this situation too. So Luis Castillo under 4.5 strikeouts, 125. Ashcraft, not related to Graham, under 4.5 hits allowed, plus 130. Polanco home run, same game. Cal Raleigh home run, 325. And then Gavin Lux, you might have to wait for it, but over 0.5 walks, plus 230. Lots more picks coming. But Derek, we bid you adieu. Thanks for doing this. As always, back next week, 9:15. We appreciate you, pal. Have a great weekend.
Have a good one.
All right. My colleague, Joe Osborne. Me and you. Oh, geez. He's ready for fight night. There's the man. We had some winners yesterday. We had some winners.
Yeah.
A little 5-2, I think, combined on the show between me and you yesterday. We both double dipped in that Toronto game. Got a little afternoon delight in that situation. We'll call it that. And you, 6.5 total on them Diamondbacks. Man, not afraid. And it also hit on the starting pitch. You didn't even have to attack the Colorado bullpen to get that over yesterday. Good card, bud.
Yeah, I felt good about it. It's kind of like a bittersweet type of thing, though, because I was one Bryce Elder hit allowed away from getting the second straight sweep. So that's what he allowed 2 hits in the first inning. So I was kind of feeling that vibe again that we might get the sweep, but we go 2-1, 5-1 since whenever Wednesday when I came back. So yeah, let's keep it rolling into today. I got 3 bets that I like very, very much, including going back to the well on one I made last night.
Scherzer dealing over 17.5 outs. It was maybe one of the easiest overs that have fit, maybe the most efficient you'll ever see a Toronto pitcher all year, but you're hoping for something like that. Jays open up their series versus the Rangers. You're going back to the starting pitchers of the rotation of the first place Jays. Lead it in, pal.
Yeah, I was on the mound last night myself, pitching to my son's Little League team. And in between innings, I checked the score of the ball game and saw that Scherzer did go over. So that was nice to see. So, yeah, we're going to go, back to the well on a Blue Jays starter with the same bet. Let's go Chris Bassett over 17.5 outs. Let's start with the opponent, the light hitting Texas Rangers, 27th in OPS versus right-handed pitching over the last month, 21st in OPS on the road over the last month. Now, they do come into action pretty cold here as well over the last week, regardless of location, regardless of righty-lefty, 27th in OPS over the last week. Bassett is a much better pitcher when he's pitching in Toronto. If you're a Jays fan, you don't want to see him on the mound in a road game in the playoffs. A 2.56 ERA at home. He's reached 18 outs in 6 of his last 7 home starts. Some pretty stiff competition mixed in there as well. Games versus the Yankees, D-backs, Phillies. Let's go Bassett over 17.5 outs.
And you did mention you doing baseball. I pulled the rule book out yesterday in a big game, elimination game, Joe. The other team walked it off on us on a walk. They celebrated. They came on the field and absolutely were electric. We won the game. Buddy didn't go to first, and they touched the runner going from third to home. Coach Josh pulls out the rule book, says that runner is out. The umpires got together. Out. Josh saves the day. Coaching pulled one out. That was a 1% or 1 of 100 shot. Always know the rule books when you're playing. Similar to betting. Hurston Waldrip, bring up that pitcher. That is a man that is going to walk people today. That is producer Mick at his finest, getting the best graphic available for this prop. -130. Atlanta still has to run this awful parade of rotation out there every day, but they're giving them innings. They don't care. First rounder, he's getting a leash and a look. 75 pitches, now 89 pitches in his first couple starts. 3 total walks, but his minor league numbers are alarming. 91 pitches at AAA this year, 50 walks. AAA over his career, which stands 2 years, 74 walks in 131 innings. I'm betting on that, and Cleveland as a top 10 walk team over the last month. Throws gas, love it, but that leads to command issues. Give me 2+ walks. I might have even dipped on the 4+ walks at a big plus 800 for something, a little personal play. And we keep going. It's funny when we go back and forth. I'm like, yep, I'm off. No, lead you in every 5 days, Joe. Sandy Alcantara, 14-9 to the season on a play I've seen you won multiple times this year. Going back at him. Let's go Friday.
Yeah, go back to the well on an old favorite from the first half of the season, at least. I backed off here lately, but I'm right back in here tonight with him pitching on the road in Boston. It's been just a train wreck season for this guy, especially on the road where he has an 8.87 ERA. In these 10 starts, he's gone under 17.5 outs 8 times. Boston having a pretty good week at the plate here. They do walk a decent amount too, the third highest walk percentage versus righties over the last 2 weeks. So this is important because Alcantara really struggling with control. 8 walks allowed over his last 3 starts. So hopefully we see him issue a couple of free passes here and get that pitch count up. Marlins bullpen only used 2 relievers yesterday, so plenty of fresh arms available for them tonight. So let's take Alcantara to get roughed up again and get yanked before the 6 IP mark.
More walks coming for me. More walks on the road for Brandon Young. Over 1.5 walks, even money. Goodness gracious. Even with the short leash, this is a guy who continues to stack walks. 7-3 to the over in 10 starts, but he pitches around 80 pitches a game. And he's also a perfect 4-0 to the over on the road with 12 walks and 17.2 innings. Pitching away from your mound is a big thing, and that's where you see the splits. I don't care about splits so much in the batter stuff, but splits in pitcher stuff really exist because mound to mound, it's a different game. At Chicago, 2 walks, 80 pitches. At Cleveland, 3 walks, 73 pitches. At Texas, 2 walks and 71 and 5 walks and 95. At Detroit, he doesn't need 90 pitches to get here. He can get there even on his projected 70 to 80 pitches. We go at that money. We buy to minus 125. And to Joe, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going back to the well. Why not? Because Arizona's just going to continue to beat up on. They can beat up on the starting pitchers as they did yesterday, or if they need to, they can stack runs versus the worst bullpen in all of baseball, and they're on the road, so they get all 27 outs for sure. Let's keep fading the Rockies. Why not?
Oh boy, yeah. Let's go back to the well. Let's go over 6.5 on the D-backs team total here. High number, but it's not high enough, homie. So let's go. These poor motherfuckers that the Rockies put on the mound. They got this guy named Tanner Gordon, the pride of Champaign, Illinois, or perhaps the shame of Champaign, Illinois. He gets a start tonight. So earned runs allowed over his last 3 starts. 10, not total. That's in his last start. 10, 7, and 6. And 2 of those were on the road, not even in Coors Field. So you can't blame Coors Field. That game where he allowed 10 earned runs, that was his most recent start versus the D-backs in Arizona. They absolutely teed off on him. Arizona red hot versus right-handed pitching, 3rd in OPS over the last 2 weeks. Colorado bullpen, a modest 7.26 ERA over the last 2 weeks. So their bullpen is bullshit. Let's go D-backs over 6.5 runs.
I bet an under in a game, the Toronto game, Colorado hanging on to an 11.5. The bullpen, I think, gave up 9 runs in 1 inning there in the 8th. That's what they can possibly do. It's incredible. And I'm going to stay there too. I didn't get it with Erod yesterday on the under 15.5 outs. But why in the hell does Brandon Pfaadt get a 17.5 out market in Coors? That's just such a giant number. That's the same number they would get Gosman. It's the same price too, minus 115 DK. This is a pitcher who he's so efficient, but he gives up a ton of hits. The guy's allowed 11 hits in 2 of his 3 games. And one of those games was versus the Rockies. Where? In Colorado, you say, Josh? No, at home. He already pitched in Colorado as well. He got beat up there, only went 15 outs. He's 11-3 to the under on this prop in his last 14 starts. He is fading down the stretch, and it's a spot in betting where you're like, okay, lost to Erod 15.5, but you have to understand when to hit this and where the number is. 17.5 is too big for FOD at -115. 16, even money is good. The 15 might be a little scary, but this is a guy who's also has to pitch in 90-degree weather, 9 miles an hour winds blowing out to right field. Just a giant number for any pitcher. You see any ace, and this is the same number you're getting. Brandon Fott is far from an ace, but there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 between the four of us. Joe, appreciate you, pal. Friday. Enjoy it. Enjoy the weekend, and don't check the scores while you're on the mound throwing to the kids. Wait till you get to the dugout. Appreciate you, pal. We'll see you back next week.
See you guys. Best of luck tonight, guys.
Okay. Now, I do need to set the stage for that play. Extra innings. Bases were loaded. 2 out. Walked him in. And we ended up getting that call right. 3 extra inning game. Old Coach Josh is just pacing back and forth in the dugout, creating a trench. Best baseball game I've ever been a part of as a coach. Was amazing thing to see. Another amazing thing to see is this next person, John Metler, on a Friday. Look at the smile of that. Picture of your kid is absolutely insane. He is your doppelganger.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying, if I post my baby picture beside it, it's like pretty identical. I want to ask you about that play though. Who was more mad, the opposing parents or the opposing coaches that you called out that in the rule book?
Okay, so as a coach, setting up a relationship with the opposing coach is very important, where you're calm, collected, and you talk to people without turning into absolute donkeys and shouting and stuff like that. It was pretty calm. It was actually pretty calm.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember. I didn't hear a parent. I didn't hear an opposing parent. I didn't hear anything from the coach. And it was interesting. The umpires had to sit there and talk about it, and the convener came in, and it was kind of a big thing. And I had my kids all grouped together, and I'm saying there as a coach, I'm like, guys, whatever happens here, like, so proud of you. This has been a great run. But like in my betting mind, it's like, hey, I'm giving them the probability. I'm like, right now, this is a coin flip of whether or not we're going to win or we're going to get the out or get the safe call. But at the end of the day, we got it. And whew.
Yeah, that like I used to ref basketball. That totally feels like one of those calls where it's like, as an official, it is the rule, it is the correct call, but like you don't want to make it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like you're like, oh, I'm bringing the game back, and it's like kind of like you're like, it is the rule though, right? So I'm sure they were like huddled up trying to discuss that.
Yeah, no, for what it was, I was happy with everybody involved, and we didn't have to have any dumb conversations about it, which was awesome. And I mean, arguments are arguments, but as a coach, just being able to lean on a rule is so easy. Oh, that's the rule. I don't know. Oh, that's the rule. I didn't make them, but it's just, that's it. If you know someone with the rules, it was awesome. So the boys got to play again today, but we got some big plus money plays, me and you. I still got another play. I got a big stack with your team, but your Moneyline Metler, as Joe Osborne called you today. More bets in this Seattle Mets game, and the Mets are, I don't know, like if the Yankees and Mets don't make the playoffs, that's going to steal all the thunder for the MLB playoffs and take away from the actual games, especially if like Aaron Boone is gone or something like that. Like the MLB does not want that to become the talking point. But time to fade the Mets still, or no?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Mariners on the money line. You guys made me nervous here. You're going putting out that Luis Castillo under on strikeouts. Trying was nice how he doesn't have the strikeout stuff anymore. And then you come back with a Jorge Polanco and Cal Raleigh home run props there. So I was like, oh, I like that for my money line play. Like I said, I'm taking the Mariners here plus 107. I feel like this should be closer to about minus 115. I think you could argue, and I've heard you bring this up too. I'm a Tigers fan. You're a Blue Jays fan. I think you could argue right now the Seattle Mariners might be the best team in the American League. And I don't think they're kind of viewed like that, like across baseball. But I think you could make that argument for them. A couple things I like for this game. You know, the Mets are obviously reeling. Sean Manaea, left-handed pitcher. The bulk of that Mariners lineup is right-handed bats, like Randy Rosarino, Julio Rodriguez. Eugenio Suarez hasn't been good for them. Cal Raleigh mashes left-hand pitching. Cal Raleigh also got the day off yesterday. So you kind of like that as a catcher. You come in a little more rested. And the bullpen, none of their like high leverage guys, Munoz, Matt Brash, Gabe Spire, none of those guys pitched yesterday either. So like they kind of have a day off. So like that is rested as well. I feel like there's a lot of different things at play here. Like you said, Luis Castillo, he is what he is. He's not a high strikeout guy right now, but when you look at this game from a whole, I feel like this should be closer to -115 than +107. So I'm going to take the Mariners here on the money line. I think they're the better team. Mets are reeling. Is it 13 and 15 they've lost now? They're like really struggling.
Half a game.
Yeah.
Not in the play, almost on the playoffs.
I guess the other thing too, you've brought this up too, is Sean and I, a long time ago, he pitched for the Athletics. So like the Mariners are pretty familiar like with him when you're looking at like they faced a pitcher a bunch of times. So I like that as well.
Seattle, best team on paper, I think, in the AL. I don't think that lineup has matured to what it should be, if that makes any sense, right? Like Suarez is, I don't think he's ripping the ball. I don't know. I think that lineup can be better, and Grandy can be better, obviously, too. But I would not want to play that team when they get hot. There's a question. Matt says, other team needs to be better coach. Not our problem. They had like a house league, a little league home run off an error, and the whole team ran on the field. I'm like, guys, control your bench, man. And then that's where it went. But yeah, Mets-esque bench over there. I didn't know who to take here. I was looking for the hits, runs, RBIs market, and I did post the 69 special that I had. Carpenter, I liked it. I liked his price. -130. I was going to take that. Green, -130. I was going to take that. Spencer Torkelson, I was going to take that as well. I said, you know what? Why don't we just stack them together? You get the 3, you get the 4, you get the 5 hitters in a game versus a pitcher in Pearson Ole, who has allowed 4 home runs over his just 11.1 innings. The Tigers hit 3 of them. Carpenter, 1 for 2 versus him, home run. Torque, 1 for 1 versus him, home run. Green went 0 for 1, but I like the production versus that team. Stack them together, plus 305. Got that at DraftKings, and I believe I have Carpenter in my 4-pack, the 69 special over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs that I have my boost on DraftKings, which I don't think I'll have tomorrow. I used it 1 day ago. Hit the 4-pack, 4-leg hits, runs, RBIs, and then I hit it again yesterday with the boost. So I don't think I'll be getting that boost much more going forward. But I got Teoscar, Carpenter, Stanton, and Trout, $69 with the boost, pays $1,300. And I think me and you were talking about it, like that hits, runs, RBIs. It's a good market to play across 4 different games and spots, right? I don't know. Were we talking about that before or no?
We were talking about the home runs and like the same game and going after the same game, not the hit runs, RBIs. But you can talk about it. Like, why would you rather bring that over 4 different games in the same game?
No, I do like the same game. I just think the multiplier in the same game doesn't like
takes it down.
Plus 305 is okay, but like when you go 1-2, like if you go 3-4, you're only getting like plus 150 sometimes. But they're correlated markets, right? Like hit and a run with the hit and the RBI, and you cash with 2 hits.
Well, I have 2 home run props. They are correlated. I actually did put them together in a parlay, and I'll break that down for you after, because I think it's going to make you run to the app and kind of play around, because I know you're going to like this part of it. So
we'll just go with it. Double dongs in Houston. We'll go. Versus Brandon Young. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm taking Jeremy Pena plus 575 to hit a home run against Brandon Young. You're talking about Brandon Young. Brandon Young is not a good starting pitcher. You're talking about the road-away splits too as well. You're looking at the lefty-righty splits. Both sides of the plate are batting over 300. Both have over a 900 OPS. You're in Houston. It's a good hitting ballpark for these guys. Felt like this should be closer to plus 425. Jeremy Pena is not a big home run guy. He's a really good batter, but he did homer yesterday. And I feel like sometimes when you get those guys who more contact than power, they can kind of stack them in bunches. He has 5 hits over his last 3 games, so he's running hot as well. I did like this because when you're looking at, it's kind of both players here. They don't have like crazy splits either way. They both hit righties. They both hit lefties. And you're going against Framber Valdez. You're on the road. Feels like a game the Orioles this could get away from, and you're bringing in the bad relievers. So the other guy here is Jose Altuve to hit home run, plus 575. Both have the exact same price. I bet both of these as straight bets at BetMGM. BetMGM had the best individual prices. I'll get to the parlay in a second here. Same thing, like Altuve. I think Pena and Altuve both have an OPS over 800 against righties or lefties. So like you feel like you have an edge against Brandon Young initially. And then however the bullpen goes, you feel like you just maintain that, because both guys actually hit lefties slightly better, but like they just face right-handed pitchers way more. Like Altuve's hit 16 of his 21 home runs against right-handed pitchers this year. Brandon Young, I just feel like you're talking about the leash. It probably is going to be a big bullpen game for them. I felt like Altuve individually had the better edge. This was plus 575. I felt like this should be closer to plus 375. So both guys showing like a big probability gap. In terms of the parlay, so I put them together at FanDuel, which doesn't have the best individual prices. So you would think the parlay would be worse. It was their plus 500, plus 560, and it came out to plus 3860. And there is no correlation. That is the price. That if you just put them together, there was no correlation factor at all added to that. So
there's no Brandon Young correlation.
Yeah. So when you put it into when I did at BetMGM where they're both plus 575, it came out to 25-1, 38-1 at FanDuel. So I threw $20 on it. It pays like 700. So
boom.
We'll take a look at that. If you want to look at stacking home run props against Brandon Young, the FanDuel is not taking out the correlation. So it's just the price multiplied. And that's why I was like, this is probably going to send Jingles to FanDuel to look at this.
Yes, it will. It will. Mike Zinman in the chat saying, can Cal Raleigh actually win AL MVP? Bringing it up. Aaron Judge minus 200. Cal Raleigh right now plus 155. I think the talking point would be if Judge and the Yankees don't make the playoffs.
41.
Like, there you go.
Yeah.
If Judge and the Yankees don't make the playoffs, that's a better case, obviously, for Cal Raleigh, who will make the playoffs, I would assume. But in terms of, I'm just bringing up WAR. Yeah, I mean, it's 7.1 to 6.5.
I think
45 home runs. If Cal Raleigh gets 50 home runs, I don't know.
If the Mariners, I feel like it's going to turn into a team thing. Like you said, if the Mariners won the division and were a top through maybe 2 seed, do they think they have to catch the Jays or Tigers?
Yeah.
I feel like if they are top 2 and won the division and then Judge misses the playoffs, I feel like it's almost got to go to Cal Raleigh, right? Like at that point, it's not even about the individual stats. It's kind of, you look at it from the team side of it.
Yeah. I agree. But I'm not running out there to go bet plus 155 against Aaron Judge.
No. But
no, I do have some insurance ones. Yes. Andrew Brennan, our colleague, was talking about it, shouting in when we were in Albania, telling everybody to get on it at 100-1. And then when it kept moving, I'm like, oh, I have to buy this at 20-1 just to because if it does hit any victory laps all over me, at least I have something. You didn't get it at 100-1? Yeah.
I want to say he texted me in April and it was 150. It was really long. And he's like, I'm betting Cal Raleigh to win MVP. And I was like, okay, good luck. I'm not betting on that.
But you're just betting an injury, and that's kind of where it was. It did derail everything that Judge had going up to that point. Yeah. But now it's starting to catch up. Plus 155, minus 200 is very close in terms of a full future. Interesting spot. Shohei Ohtani up to minus 20,000 for the NL MVP. So much for the Kyle Schwarber MVP walk and talk of 2 days, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, but that's what it is. Big show today. Boom, 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 boom. Carty, Metler, Osborne, myself, lots of play, and it's Friday. Who doesn't want more? And it's don't look at the clock. It's August 15th. Enjoy the last few weekends of the summer. But if you're worried that the summer's going to be over, just know that football is coming. We got 2 preseason games today. Don't know how excited people are, but I will be betting those as well. I'll drop my plays later. Dropped them yesterday, but I'll allude to them later today as well. Josh Ingles covers his best bets on Friday. Let's have a weekend. Enjoy it. Chat. Great job today. As always, we'll see you back here on Monday. Cheers.